Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're gonna do a little 3-game series here. Light and True, a couple ASL players, met on the ladder 3 times in a row, and they start off here on Roaring Currents, our island map. So here's to hoping that we see islands taken in this island map. Definitely seen some very interesting builds utilized on this map so far in this matchup. Yeah. It could be like very cool openers. Like I've seen some, the other day I saw Speed go for like a very heavy Valkyrie build on this map and ended up utilizing some dropships and stuff. I actually thought he was going to lose that game for sure. He played against Sulky here the other day, and that was from the KCM Race Survival series. So that's why I'm not casting it. But yeah, just a very, very cool type of style. I'm not sure what Light is going to think is best here. Like, do you open up SK? Do you open up with a tech build? Like, I could see this being, like, just dividing half the map and battling over islands. Like, maybe that's a real possibility. The thing is, with Roaring Currents, if you look at it, right, you have the 4 bases on your side, and they are not super heavy on gas or anything. 2,000 gas in these geysers. 2,000 here, 3,000 here, right? The mineral patches are not full. So it mines out relatively quickly, but this is the only ground route across. So, like, I mean, you know, defilers and defilers are ridiculous in the matchup, but if you only have this one path, you could just have, like, 10 siege tanks here, and they will basically never be able to come over the bridge. So, like, for not that much supply, you can basically be invincible here, and then it would heavily turn into, like, air control, which, who wins air control between the two? I mean, I think Valkyries beat everything as long as they don't get plagued, right? Even Devourers, I'm pretty sure that between Valkyrie or Radiate, you end up winning that. So I don't know. I have some ideas in my head about this, about it being, like, very doable for that. Now, there are some interesting things. Like, notice how there's ground here. This is not buildable ground, but this is ground that you could drop things onto on both spots, so that could help to infiltrate an area. Similarly, there's high ground on over these expansions, and this is mostly not buildable. You have enough room for, like, 4 missile turrets or so on this island, but a lot of extra ground. So, like, drops can still be effective no matter how good your anti-air is. So just a couple things to think about. Again, an incredibly interesting map. I hope that we end up seeing a lot of this map while it's still around, because I don't think this is the type of map you'll ever see again. This is a map that I think will go away pretty quickly. Like, I don't expect any sort of good balance here. Now, True pokes his Overlord in and sees no command center. That's not going to surprise him too much. I'm sure he'll throw down a Sunken relatively quickly here to make sure that a Vulture isn't going to just run in and kill him or anything. Light looks to me... Well, he just started mining gas again, so... Oh, okay, that's right after the command center. That makes sense. Like, I don't think he'll go straight mech. You could. But I think it'll be a starport. Pretty sure. I think it'll be starport into probably like maybe a Valkyrie rush. Okay, so there's the starport. And we'll keep track of that. The creep colony on the way to make that Sunken. Layer coming up here for True. And now we just kind of wait a minute. By the way, yeah, this is a Zergling tight wall at this position. Not sure if a Zergling tight wall actually exists over here. But this is not only Zergling tight, but Marines pop out on the inside, so it's like a ridiculously strong wall. I would be surprised if anyone doesn't wall like this in this position in the matchup. 2 starport. Okay, so now we're getting an idea of what's going on. It looks like it will be a 2 starport Wraith opener, but off of 2 bases. So it'll be a little bit more defensive than we normally see. If you open up on 1 base, you have to keep pressure on your opponent and continually, like, whittle down what they have. But on the 2 bases, your Wraiths come a little bit later, so it's a lot harder to whittle things down, and you are going to play a more defensive-based game off of that. So just something to keep in mind. And, you know, there's a few different ways I've seen this go down as well. If you're going to go... And he actually already has an SCV stuck in the back, so this is actually good. You want an SCV stuck that you can group with your Wraiths to keep them stacked. But yeah, in situations like this, occasionally what we'll end up seeing is the Wraiths into some Valkyries to just crush the Mutalisks. So I'm not sure if that's what we'll end up seeing. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways that this could go down. Like, for instance, Light could go into just straight up bio play after that. And he couldn't go into mech play. That's not really a thing. Although we saw one really weird game on Metropolis, if you guys remember, where it was like a Wraith opener, but it went into like a siege tank drop. It was really bizarre. Really, really bizarre. So it was almost like a mech Wraith thing, but not exactly. But yeah, something like that is the type of build that would just get overwhelmed by mass units. You kind of need if you do something this tech heavy, like 2-port Wraith, you need to make sure that you have like a strong base behind it. Now, that is a very, very quick Queen's Nest. I find that really interesting. I'm not sure. And we see a carapace upgrade. Okay, so this could point towards Crazy Zerg. It could also point... There's a possibility it could point towards Ensnare on Queens. That doesn't seem unreasonable. It seems... Oh my god. Oh my god, he cannot lose that. It seems much more likely to me that it'll be like a Crazy Zerg type of build. Which is, Crazy Zerg is very good against Wraith openers because, first off, Wraiths can't even hurt Ultras. When Wraiths attack Ultras with heavy carapace upgrades, the Ultras actually get healed by it. The attack is so weak. So, yeah, not a bad idea if that's what he's going for. Like, he'll probably overwhelm ground forces as soon as +1 carapace is done. Like, Ling Ultra should just crush. You know, +1 attack is really, really far off for Light. There, it gets started right after I say it's really, really far off. But that is quite a big difference if you look at that, you know. That's a big, big window where he'll be ahead on those upgrades. And we'll see if Light actually hits directly into +2 as well. So, Spore on the way. Good to see. Still, you can do a lot even against Spore. Muta's coming out. Took his time getting the Mutas out there. All right, picks off an Overlord. You can see some really great control here so far from Light. All right, does lose Cloak on one of these, so that is allowing a lot of hits from those Mutalisks, but decides to just sack it and goes after those Mutas anyways. Gets some decent damage on them overall. Sending away the Wraith without Cloak, but, you know, all of them are going to start getting a little bit low. We have 10, 18 energy there, so he is going to decloak and go home. Okay, now we're going up to 5 barracks, +1. Academy is coming on the way, but you need, obviously, to get into stim and range. Good pack of Wraiths right now. This is going to be some excellent anti-air. Okay, and so it's not... This is really a peculiar build. He's going into Defiler Mound really quickly. Huh. Defiler Mound and Carapace, but still skipping Lurkers. So Defiler plus Zergling is a very rare combination. And you might say, why? That seems reasonable. But no, it's really the Lurkers that are the key to utilizing Darkstorm. It's not that you can't do it with Zerglings also. But, like, for instance, if Terran makes a bunch of Firebats, what are you going to do in that situation? It makes it kind of tough. Now, there is counterplay to that in the form of, you know, you have the Mutalisks to maybe pick some of those off. You have, you know, the possibility of Sunken Colony defense as well. And, of course, Plague, which can really ruin every plan that Terran has. But, yeah, it's a very, very rare composition to see, the Zergling Defiler. I think he will go into Ultra's Cavern relatively quickly here, but not quite ready to get Ultras out yet. Just going to focus on that Zergling and Defiler defense. And, you know, obviously that is going to be somewhat gas heavy. Okay, Knight is coming up, getting that third gas. Light starting to walk out with a little group of Marines and Medics. Range on the way. We have the Adrenal upgrade coming as well here for True. So here comes the attack from Light. True's going to have to move up and defend this pretty quickly. And it is a little bit annoying because the Wraiths can do a lot of picking off here as well. Now, I think True is just straight up make enough Lings that he doesn't even need a Defiler with it. Like, I think he's going to have enough Lings to just break this Marine Medic army. They have +1. Well, actually, there's +1 on the Marines, too. But yeah, I mean, he has another, like, 20 Lings coming, so I think he'll be all right. Now, he needs to actually move really quickly on top of this. Cannot let this hatchery go down. And he loses the Nidus, so that was maybe a little bit sloppy. And this is looking kind of bad. Where are the Lings? They're really, really far out of position right now. Uh-oh, with more Marines coming up. So he will end up clearing this, but you know what? The supply is very low for True right now. And, oh my god, actually, with the Wraiths coming up, he might just hold. Like, I mean, Light might hold this position. Even the 2 Marines might end up living, which means the hatchery might go down. Oh, God. Plague on the way, but yeah, nothing really left over there. More bio coming up, including fire bats. Oh, that's too bad. I think True's basically screwed now. The Wraiths are just going to have too much value attached to them at this point. Okay, he gets an insane plague on him. So that's gonna be big. Oh, okay. So he's just gonna GG. Okay. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic in how fast it was. That's too bad because I really wanted to see how these 2 strategies would go against each other. Like, does Light just continue on SK Terran? Opens with the Wraiths for some pressure into the Marine medic to try to like keep him off these bases, and the Wraiths maybe can help him keep him off these bases. It seems like a really logical way to play by Light. Now, on True's side, I do think the Carapace upgrade is probably the best idea Zerg has so far on Roaring Currents. You might remember from the ASL match that we saw from Larva here, he just went straight Crazy Zerg on the map, and I actually think he's right. Like, anytime you have, like, weak geysers, Crazy Zerg is a really, really good choice, and Crazy Zerg also allows for enough gas to maybe get dropped to go to the islands. So I really like the idea, but the Defiler mount I didn't quite understand. Didn't quite understand what the idea was with that. I think it might have been like, well, Plague counters Wraiths so hard. This is part of the reason why late game you don't see many Wraiths or Valkyries made by Terran. Because, like, you can Plague a battlecruiser, and it's actually still usable. You Plague Wraiths, and they literally become flying trash. Just these are, like, this Mutalisk would almost beat all these Wraiths. It would kill 3 per shot. So it's like, okay, well, if you have any anti-air and they've been plagued, they're done. So in that regard, I kind of get the Defiler mound. But yeah, it does. Well, you see what happened. You see what happened. It's like he was trying to do a little bit too much all at once. So yeah. Huh. Okay. Anyways, let me know what you think, guys, about Roaring Currents ZVT. And what you think strategically Zerg should do. Because we originally... I'm sorry, I'm still rambling. But we originally thought that this map would probably be... Well, I originally thought it would probably be Terran favored. But I actually, since seeing Larva play it and seeing the types of ideas he was moving with, I'm like, oh, actually, I'm not sure. It's actually hard to say. And I've actually seen Zerg beat Terran more often than not on this map. But it's been pretty close. It's probably like 55-45 in the games that I've seen. I've played like only a couple TVZs here and I won them, but it wasn't against super strong opposition. But yeah, I think there are a lot of ideas that can still be played with here by Zerg. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry it was a fast one. And we will see you next time.